of this meeting and for minutes of the meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Mayor Burnett.
I wish to disclose your interest on item 5.4, vacancy rebate summary, with the property on that list that I am a shareholder of. I would further ask the indulgence of the room if they could move 5.4 to the end of the meeting, at which time I would vacate the room. And if that's the indulgence of council and the room, I would appreciate it.
Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, 5.1 CAO. Staff report on Discovery Road parking amendment.
Staff report prepared by the just bylaw officer. This would be an amendment to the Schedule A and K of the parking bylaw 104608 as attached. The Northwest Ontario Student Services Consortium initiated a meeting that involved the municipality, the owner of Hutchison Bus Line, St. John's Catholic School, and Nicole Catholic School. We had a site meeting at around, it started at 3 o'clock. The intent was, and the purpose of the meeting was to look at the flow of traffic at the St. John's School location. And it was quite evident. It's a busy area. There's 7 buses that go through there, and obviously the reason for this meeting and reason for the amendment to our bylaw would be for safety purposes. So what we're proposing is 2 signs erected along Discovery Road that would say no stopping from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. And that would be from September to June. That's the school year. On Discovery. Correct. Good. And if you can pull up the map, we can show specifically the area. And this was the area that the group felt was created a lot of the confusion. Because when the buses there's 7 buses, as I mentioned, that drive through. It's quite busy, and it's difficulty for the buses when they're coming out because they don't go again for safety purposes and specifically during the winter months. They don't want to travel down Discovery Road towards Highway 105. They travel going back west and then so enter on Discovery again and hit down Hamel Road. And then they enter from Hamel Road as well. And as you can see from the map, it's a very tight area. And in most cases, people that are stopping there, picking up their kids, a lot of times they're actually parking on the sidewalk. Just to make more room. So, any questions, comments, concerns?
Is this short-term thinking, or what is the long-term prognosis for enrollment at that school?
Well, in fact, the school has grown, and they've added buildings in the back to accommodate grade 4. But the enrollment's been high. This has been one of the schools that's really increased enrollment. They've got a very popular program called Leadership in Me, which has done wonders for the school. Everybody that's involved, parents, teachers, and most importantly, the kids. So I'm glad you brought that up. This would be short term. We had discussions because we had both principals present during this meeting, And there's talk of, okay, long-term, what can we do? There's talk about moving the fencing that currently exists, move that in towards the school more, make a dedicated bus lane. But at this point, they don't have the capital dollars, so this perhaps would be something they would look for in 2016, is to raise some capital dollars to do some upgrades.
Child safety is number one. That's not even on the table. But we also have to look at what it does for the rest of the community. There's a chance we can work with the board to, if I look at the west end of that building, there's a potential there for, maybe they should be looking at rerouting.
And we discussed that as well.
And it would take a lot of pressure off Discovery and put it over to a higher traffic area on Hamilton. Anyway, food for thought. We're not going to solve it today.
Well, that was discussed, a possibility, but we have to further investigate the property, how it impacts the home. That's right on, as you can see on the edge.
Yeah.
That would be an option as well.
So, we still have a mandate to do the best for most.
Councilor Mayor?
Who owns that piece of property back there? Is that the town or?
Well, I think that
Okay.
Yeah, I believe we own that.
Okay. My question is, they are looking at, and I can tell you a little bit on that, they're looking at putting in, and it may be there now, there's a portable in there to start the season. And there's also a possibility of another portable being added to that, because that school has increased 5 times over. About 10 years ago, that school, it was a possibility they were down in enrollment. They were losing enrollment. There was even a possibility of talking and maybe not having that school. Well, since the French school has come in there, and also more people have also enrolled in St. John's because of the new program, The Leader in Me, they are going to, they are looking at roughly 2 portables going in there. One is there now, I think, because it was supposed to be there at the beginning of the season.
3 floors.
And they weren't sure whether that was going to house enough people, that they may have to go into another one. And I am involved with the Leader in Me program, so I know that there is a problem of an overflow of student population there. That's why I asked who owned that property.
In collaboration with the parties, as I mentioned earlier, we'll investigate all the options. This one with the drive-through, we'll verify ownership and see if that's a potential for long-term.
Councilor Goodwin?
I guess, where is the drop-off and pickup by parents is still a problem. And where is the drop-off and pickup spot going to be?
It would just be further up the road. So if you look at, I believe that would be number 45, 47, basically from lot 47 on, people can park there. So it's good, it will be a little bit further walk.
Because, you got a lot of people are picking up and dropping off for kindergarten.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to look at that long-term solution. But if you go sit there when the buses arrive, and I compliment the schools, they have staff out there and they're doing a great job, but there's still that opportunity of there being a safety concern. It gets quite busy.
Two things, Mr. CEO, strike me when I look at this. I certainly don't disagree. I look at that little, just up from the corner of Hamel Road. On the lower part of the picture is that little protuberance goes into the street. My fear is we're just moving a bottleneck further down because people will then be parking there. They'll turn that right into almost a no drive zone. If they park on both sides down there, right, just up from the corner, Hammer Road, Gap, in that area. So I don't know if we want to consider extending that, neither here nor there, but I think that's an area we have to be careful of. And the second one has slipped my mind. But, the September to June, I wonder if it wouldn't just be better making that year round? And then you don't have to retrain people every September? Because we'll still have daycare there in the summer, correct? So if we say in June, well, you can park back there again?
Sorry, no.
No?
No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. There's no daycare there in the summer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mr. Mayor?
If this is a short-term solution, I would hope by next school year we have a long-term answer to get this done the right way. Is that possible?
I believe that's the way we have to go. We have to find a long-term solution because it's just going to move traffic.
This is just delaying the inevitable.
Yes.
So, and I look at, can you scroll up just a tad? Yeah, so if I look at that, see where that foundation with the old bus right down there? And you draw a line right up through that parking lot, and I know there's a house in there. But that seems to be quite suitable maybe for long-term. Yes, there's logistical issues that would have to be addressed, clearly. And if you can move that picture down, please. And if you see that, is that playground upper on the north portion of that park? Up there, right there?
It's a playground.
Yeah. If you look to the southeast of that, there's a green spot there. Even if you go to the, in that area, if you move that playground up there, you could actually probably accommodate that parking lot on the west side. So you got a better flow through the traffic. You want to get a bottleneck off the residential streets. That's the idea. So that when someone is picking up their child from JKSK, it's still a safe environment.
There's nothing more controversial than when we took that crosswalk out at 3 plus. And then they have people just absolutely hate dropping their kids off on the other side of the street. They were trying to stop them from driving through the bus again. And, you got little kids, you can stop there and then let them out and they run across the road right in front of all the cars. It's not, it's just not good. And it was impossible.
So, but at least there we have the ability to, you can turn around and head west on Howie to still drop your child off on the safe side. Here, I'm not sure you do. Anyway, I think I like what you're doing on a long-term basis. So.
Moved by Mayor Bennett. Seconded by Councillor Barron. Resolved that the Committee of the Whole hereby recommends to Council the acceptance of bylaw enforcement officer staff report number BL-15-05 from the bylaw department regarding Discovery Road parking amendment. All in favor? Carried. Okay, 5.4. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. 7.1. Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, read the forest 10-year modernization. More or less just looking for input, I believe.
They're providing an update on their review process.
Any discussion, questions, comments? For review? Or that's just information?
And there was a deadline that came before the council meeting.
Yeah. So there you go. Moving on to 5.4. Rebate summaries, Mr. Treasurer.
Okay, each year, owners of commercial and industrial property that are vacant are eligible to apply for a vacancy rebate. The amount is 30% of the taxes assessed to the property. And that's for the commercial ones, 35% for the industrial ones. We have a number of applicants. Each year, Frank Lutz from MPAC comes in to review each property that's applied for these rebates, and he recommends yay or nay. Now there's 10 on this list that has been recommended as yay, and there was 6 or 7 that were recommended as nay, which obviously aren't on this list. A lot of the ones that they're applying for when they get recommended for rejection is they're still being used like for personal storage or whatever, which doesn't constitute being vacant. And the property that was rejected, one of the properties that was rejected last year was applied again this year and rejected again for exactly the same reason.
So can you go over that list? There's a list attached there.
Okay?
Okay, so those are the industrials, these are the commercial. This is what they're asking for rebates? Is this
Yeah,
what they're
this is the amount of the rebate on those 10 properties is the $27,965. The first 4 properties, I recognize the numbers on them with their gold corps. The rest one I think I know which one it is. So like the 440, like you see the number down there, that means that it's in Balmertown. 410 means Red Lake, and 950 means Madsen.
So Balmertown has the most.
Well, Balmertown, Coaster, Mackenzie Island are
All
all
that district.
440. IT means industrial, LT means large industrial. I think I gave away what that one is. And CT is commercial.
And these are ones he's recommended, Brian?
These are recommended to approve the vacancy application.
And you're comfortable with those?
I'm comfortable with 0 for the whole works one. That's beside the point. Unfortunately, it's in the regulations, so I kind of got my hands tied.
Councilor Mayor?
So this outside person comes in and they check all those properties?
Yes.
Obviously, I've asked for a rebate, right, if I was up there on the board.
Yes, like those ones are the ones that have asked and have been recommended for yes.
And they're going to get, so all that money minus $27,965.53 are going to be issued back to all these people.
Correct.
Okay, so that means the rest of us pick up that tax base, right?
Well, we did provide in the budget for that. That we budgeted for appeals and this, and those kind of anomalies. Well, we budgeted $260,000.
Okay,
for that,
Mr. CEO.
So we're recommending that this just, the purpose was to, you know, to bring everybody up to speed. I guess what we're recommending is that this on an annual basis just goes straight to council. However, if you feel you'd like it to come to the committee of the whole, we can continue to do this each year. It's entirely up to what council desires.
another curiosity question, is there more to come, or is this just the one report? Like, that's minus 27, you said you budgeted quite a bit of money.
well, appeals, like, you know, if Gold Corp appealed and was successful, or any other taxpayer appealed and was successful, like,
So we could get more than that sheet there that we're seeing.
the vacancies, no, but for appeals or other tax-related issues, yes.
Okay.
These are once a year, the appeals are more.
Yeah, they're sporadic. We constantly get lists of people that are appealing, like under the ARB process.
But as far as these particular ones go, Brian, this is pretty well a slam dunk every year. So we're just, basically what we're doing to follow up with what Mark said, we're just sort of adding an extra step by going to committee of the whole instead of straight to council.
Correct.
Any further questions, comments?
You know,
Positive or negative?
positive or negative, no.
So these will go straight to council from now on?
Is that the feeling that you'd be better off just going straight to council?
I think-
for these particular ones.
Just do this once a year out there. It's not a big deal, is it, like extra work? No.
Council directs us, we can bring it to the committee of the whole and have this discussion. The municipal tax equity rep, Frank Woods, again, as the treasurer mentioned, is a former MPAC. So he verifies these and confirms that they're legit. So, and we've got a lot of confidence in Mr. Woods and municipal tax equity. So, but again, for discussion purposes, we can certainly bring it forward to the committee of the whole every year.
Your recommendations there, here's their,
Any preference, Councilor?
Doesn't matter to me.
So let's try it this way. Would we prefer to go through committee of the whole every year or just take it straight to council? I'm comfortable with straight to council personally if someone has to start.
Okay, let's do straight to council. It doesn't really matter to me where it goes as long as we see this.
Yes.
And as long as that we know that this outside man and our treasurer agrees with all that, and you budgeted it beforehand, it's not a hidden surprise, like it's not a new surprise.
And
Then
putting it
doesn't
to
really
council
matter.
still doesn't preclude discussion.
No,
It just saves us 20
this
minutes.
time and then next week's time, coming 2 times. It
Yeah.
didn't come once. There you go, bring it to council. Regular meeting. And that'll come
So
once.
directed.
Thank you.
So moved by Councillor Barron. Seconded by Councillor Goodwillie. Resolved that the committee of the whole hereby adjourns to meet again at the call of the chair. Thank you.